Well, I'm thinking, so what, Marsha? Well, the thoughts we have are very important. We could say the clarity of thought, clearness of what we're thinking about, what brings the right thoughts from the point of view of thoughts that are helpful to the body, helpful to the personhood. Well, as we've said, not feeling too tired, perhaps not being preoccupied with certain worries and concerns. In other words, what gives a sense of assurance, peace. Perhaps joy gives us an alertness to engage the mind and the body. In other words, joy might be associated with fullness of life, appropriate activity to the well-being of the person. So diet, rest and good company, perhaps good sounds. Perhaps the right bells do bring the right sound of joy into us. Laughter and good company gives good words, good conversation, leads the mind in better directions from the point of view of our being and happiness and joy and so on. So, right sleep, right diet, right company, right order in life makes peace. Things are known to be and where they are and easy to hand and things fit and synchronicities seem to come in abundance. Right values then may help the mind to receive the right thoughts. We can train the mind to go down certain ways by reminding it of the good things that we value, whatsoever is good and lovely. We open ourselves to, if you like, a channel of right thought and appropriate to life and fullness of life. It's thought, isn't it, especially from an Eastern point of view, that our breathing affects our heart rate, and the two of them together affect our sensitivity to what we might call divine thoughts, thoughts appropriately of hope and assurance and peace, meaning to life. Reminding ourselves of certain values, certain things that we do value, motivate us in a certain direction to be sensitive to what's appropriate to that direction. So if I don't feel right when I first wake up, and if I have time, of course, then I might practice my triangular breathing, what I call Kriya Yoga. I might listen to my recordings, work on those, because this brings my focus, my senses, sensitivity into a field that brings peace and joy and prosperity, calmness to the mind and the body, engages me more fully in life for the day. I get a lift. And ideally, for instance, in worship, I get such a tremendous lift, I would call it transcendence. It's as if one were in a different world. You might call it the kingdom of heaven. And these things are not new to man. They've been there, it seems, for thousands of years. It's especially in the realm of our religious life and family life. What we might call our private life might be devoted to practices that bring this fullness of life as we see it, peace and joy and prosperity. Do you see how in this the senses are there to protect the self, to guide the self into greater prosperity? It should never have been the sin of self, that notion. It should have been recognized that the importance to us of self, which ultimately means the difference between life and death, being and not being, and that there's something wonderful about being, and to be valued and appreciated and guarded and protected and helped to prosper. And if you think of it, our sight, sound, smell and so on are all part of that protection. Arsenal of senses that protect the self, keep it in life and fullness of life and prosperity of life. We are wonderfully and fearfully made with these senses, and all the creatures are too. Anything that has a sovereignty of movement coming from mind seems to have these senses that feed the mind appropriately to its survival. And the body itself seems to be designed, so to speak, or favouring sensitivity to the senses. I mean, it's in the same word, isn't it? We're sensitive to our senses. It's there for a reason, to be a blessing to us as regards life, fullness of life, safety, prosperity. How amazingly wonderful. And we just find we have this, we are this. Wow. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.